everybody, it's Dot. I come before you today intentionally grubby, intentionally with my Friday workday hairdo and such, because I know some of you are still understandably a little nervous about speaking on camera as part of our course assignments. So I wanted you to feel extra comfortable, like you're in my basement, here's all the junk we haven't put away. This is not my closet, it's my little shop. But yeah, just come as you are, just like you might to class, okay? So I owe you some feedback on your dotstorming posts about assessments that you use in your classroom. And I decided that the most productive and I guess educative approach to this would be for me to do a group post, a group response. And that is because you are going to come back to those posts a couple more times during the term to kind of deepen your thinking about some specific issues about assessments. You're going to kind of apply some of the things you learned to those assessments. So I thought if I get into commenting on each one, I'm going to end up sort of doing that thinking for you, and I don't want to take that opportunity away from you. So that's my plan here. We'll see how it goes. So one thing that I really want you to focus on as you look back at your own and at each other's assessments here is what data you actually walk away with that you can point to and that's actionable. So for example, if I have an assessment where I'm listening to a child read aloud, I can listen for their prosody and their parsing, like their grouping of words and their expression and so on. But if I don't record anything about that, like I don't have a rubric for it or some qualitative notes, typically I'm not going to attend to those pieces as much when I'm planning subsequent instruction. So I might notice like, I think there's an issue with this facet of prosody, of expression. Or I might notice something in a student's miscues that make me wonder about their vocabulary knowledge. But if I don't have sort of hard data, which can be informal, but something I can sort of touch and point to, it's unlikely that that data is going to inform my teaching. And so when we think about what aspects of the cognitive model an assessment really speaks to and that we're really hitting in our assessment plan, we want to be aware of that. And I notice every time I teach this class, students tend to be a little over generous with their assignment of where things fall on the cognitive model, right? So for example, we often see assessments of oral reading fluency, which really is just pieces of the construct of fluency, like accuracy and rate. And those screening tools are correlated in some ways. We can sort of debate and argue about that with comprehension, but they don't give you an actual piece of data that speaks to comprehension itself. So I wouldn't tick that comprehension box for that kind of a tool. So next week, in week 4, you're going to be taking a fairly deep dive into the roles that screening and diagnostic and formative assessments should play in a response to intervention structure. And I want you to keep these tools that you've posted about in mind as you read about diagnostic, formative, interim, and other types of assessments. And consider with each of these tools what kinds of data each is providing that, again, can actually guide instructional decisions. Like, I see this score or I see this qualitative description of what the student is doing, and that tells me my next step is to do X. So we want our assessments to help us select our highest leverage areas of focus and our highest leverage goals and instructional strategies for the student. So as you go through this course, you may find yourself demanding a little more from your assessments than what you may have in the past, and that's good news. So again, you might want to look back at your tool and consider, was I a little over generous? Like, if the tool just gathers accuracy and rate, does it really give me information about the strategies the student has for decoding words or their knowledge of spelling patterns and phonics, that kind of thing. Does it really tell me anything about their vocabulary knowledge, and so on? So that's what I'll leave you with for now, and we'll keep coming back to this, and by the end of the course you'll have pulled these assessments apart and have done even more fabulous thinking with them. So again, grubbily yours, and encouraging you to come as you are to your video presentations, and have a fabulous weekend. Bye.